which would be very annoying for the offlane DK of Aster.Aries.
Yeah, it's not going to be fun. You're a melee hero. You're just going to be zapped. Your damage disappears. It's a really quick tempo here as well, which plays nice with, say, the Doom, the aggressiveness the Nyx and Disruptor can enable early on. And you think about Disruptor Razor, right? If he's chasing someone down with Static Link, glimpse back, whoop, he's right next to you again.
Yeah.
So you can just keep that Static Link going forever. Lots of potential there. For Aster.Aries' side, outside of this DK Hoodwink combo you talked about, I think even just the burst damage that you have to consider with Hoodwink Lion. Finger plus Sharpshooter is just an instant kill on anyone. It's like Lina plus Lion as well. Laguna plus Finger. So it's a ton of burst. Aries going into the Magnus. An interesting choice. Magnus into a Razor counterpick already on hand for physical cores. It's like a 50-50. You have a way of breaking the Static Link with Skewer. At the same time, if you're not around to save your core that you're empowering and going all in on, your Empower hero is not going to feel great against a Razor.
No, I doubt it would, John. I'm very curious to see what they get done with this Magnus this game. Like, you haven't really got the best Empower targets either. I mean, DK doesn't really care for Empower that much. Magnus himself enjoys the Empower. I'm just wondering now, are you going for an off-lane Magnus, maybe mid-DK and picking up the safe lane core? Maybe that's kind of the route, because if it is going to be a safe lane Razor, you can always kind of skewer away from the Static Link and just break it off. So they might be just kind of going for these flexible options in terms of the laning phase to try and make it hard to actually capitalize on this Razor. Is where I'm going with this. That's what I think they're up to here for Aster.Aries. I'm wondering what kind of position 1 they go for now, if that is the case. The first one that always comes to mind is the PA. It's one of those better position 1s with the Empower. And as of right now, it hasn't been banned out by either team. So it does feel like a pretty nice option. You are still playing into a Razor Doom though, so it may seem a little bit challenging to run PA here. But I'm trying to think, what else do you really maximize with the Empower? They got Jug?
Jug, it could work. It doesn't feel great against Razor either way, because if you're Static Linked and you try to Omni, you do nothing. So it's kind of awkward. Chaos Knight is... Okay, that's not a natural Magnus hero, but that can kind of work. I don't know how to feel about it. Like, CK has... I mean, there's only like a couple of players we know in, say, Southeast Asia that loves the CK, right? Like, it's a different region, but we only really saw, Drew and Dreamocell play it, I believe, were like the 2 core players. It's faded out for a reason. Yeah, you can kind of flex it here. Like, you could still go maybe DK safe, CK off could be an option. It's 3 melee course against Razor, though, Mike. I don't know. It's 3 melee course against Razor. Against Disruptor.
That is a problem, John. I do agree with you. Against Disruptor, against Razor, it is 3 melee cores. I'm not sure what else to say about that. It could be rough. Still, I mean, give CK a farming tool with the Empower. He already has super high base damage anyway, so you're going to get a bit more out of the Empower, I guess, in some way. Kind of item build-up do you want? Maybe go for like the Echo Saber route if you want. That's been quite popular as of late. With an Empower on top, it could be a hell of a lot of damage being kind of thrown out. Phoenix Gaming, they're thinking quite heavily about this last pickup of theirs.
I think what they lack in Phoenix is a way to deal with the illusions. Like, they don't have great illusion clear on hand, so the CK does have a lot of value with the Phantasm. Even an Ags buildup could be considered here if they want to, and just kind of abuse that weakness on Phoenix's end. I guess if they are running safe lane Razor, you could maybe go for an Ember. That could be one way. Like, it's Ember into Lion, so it could be dicey. Okay, they go to Deuce instead. That's one way. Yeah, that's one way to handle the illusions coming through. Shiro on Nat and Yi on the mid lane Razor, so they're still going for the Razor mid. This is an interesting one, because on the one hand, it's 3 melee cores against a Dusa and a Razor. That is pretty sucky. And, even the Disruptor as well. So you have ways of defending your Dusa. Drop the Static Storm on top of her, Stone Gaze on top, trap them in. Immediately heroes have to run up and face her. So they're going to be stuck in a really awkward spot in that ideal situation. At the same time, Aster.Aries can play pretty fast. CK doesn't need too much time to farm. As you mentioned, Echo Saber, once that's up with Empower, you're pretty good to go to run down. And I think Aster.Aries might look to play that faster pace here to prevent that Dusa from farming up and prevent the Doom. We've seen this issue with Doom drafts where the Doom doesn't get enough farm, the main core doesn't get enough farm, both of them just feel underwhelming. They need an item advantage, and Aries can kind of abuse that if they play to their timings, which is easier said than done because of the natural matchups. I mean, I guess even if you're 3 melee heroes against Razor, he can only really static link 1 hero. So on that sense, maybe it's a bit overblown as to how bad that is, because he's only static linking 1. The other guys could still hit, I guess.
Yeah, that's true, John. That's a good point. It does feel like Phoenix Gaming did come out on top with this draft, but I'll officially ask you as we do get into game number 2, John. Who do you think came out with the better draft?
I think Phoenix definitely did come out with a better draft. Like they just have, it feels like all the answers against Aster.Aries. The win condition for Aster.Aries, it's there. Like they can kind of play around 20-25 minutes, I think, is when their lineup really peaks in output, and that's still where Phoenix might still be farming up on that Dusa, on that Doom, but they have to play perfectly around certain cooldowns. The big one is definitely RP's up there, but Phantasm's super important here for the CK to have that presence, and the DK Dragon form has to be used around fights into objectives. That's their main push tool. So you have to kind of time yourself around that. I'd say there's some importance as well in getting some early finger kills, just because you need to hunt around the Medusa. Now, the beautiful thing about Lion up against a Medusa is that eventually you're one really good way to keep burning through mana from the Medusa, right? So you are constantly mana draining her with your max level mana drain, and once you have the shard up, you're just kind of unmovable there because of the free spell immunity. So that could be a relatively good answer to stop the durability coming out from Phoenix, but I think the simplest win conditions just stall till late game. I think that's really what the meta showed us. Just stall till late game, then if you have the bigger win condition, you go up. Dusa is a gigantic win condition, and in that sense, it feels like Phoenix, if they want to just take this game slow, they have the ace in the sleeve of the Dusa. Aster.Aries, like, their scaling, I think, towards the late game isn't on the CK. It feels like the pressure is going to be on our Magnus, right? Like, RP is always going to be relevant, and you can right-click quite nicely for Phoenix on that hero, so you can kind of go that route, but you really don't want to have to test that TV late game. So Aster.Aries has to play faster, and it's always harder to have to play that perfect early game compared to just kind of riding through it and just stalling late. So Phoenix, it's easier to pull their lineup off just purely from their win conditions. Just much easier to stall for Adusa.
I'm curious as well as to whether this is one of those, CK Aghanim Scepter games. Like, it's something we haven't seen for such a long time, but it makes you wonder, right? Like, with that many illusions going in for a big rift, in fact, hold that thought, because Dome is going to be caught out. A 1-second stun, but there's your Earth Spike, but a big impel there from ZZQ to try and turn around. Now the static link with the Bushwhack. Gonna hold them down as Ulu keeps rushing, and he will be able to secure the kill. It may cost him his own life, but it's going to be well worth it if they can get everyone else out of there. But there's the Impale out. They've got Phoenix and that Magnus. They should be able to find a secondary, and they do. They get the mag down, but now a massive Bushwhack out again onto 4 heroes. As they plant the Ironwood tree, the Ironwood branch. Siamese, 3-man Earth Spikes. He tries to run his way out. He'll try to turn around for the bounty. He'll leave that be. He'll go for a run. There's your Thunder Strike. Eventually, he should die. Earth Spike is there with the Fairy Fire. ZZQ, he doesn't actually have the mana for that Impale, but he does have brown boots. So he can just chase Siamese down, but he won't go all the way. He doesn't have faith he can finish the job.
Yeah, that's such a tight start for both sides. 2 for 2, both of them losing cores. I think it's a bit better for Aries because they get that first blood bonus, so Ulu is better off in that overall exchange. But now it comes down to what support duos feel better with less regen and less mana. I think in that sense, Aster.Aries probably feels a little bit better. At least with a Lion, you're going to get mana drain at some point. You will have something to play with, whereas compared to Nyx, no regen on hand. Means that his presence is going to be down to pulling. Just with the boots up, it's a little easier to get that done. but you're not really going to be able to trade blows so much, and Siamese can punish you a little bit better, so it's a costly way of exchanging, but Phoenix should still be able to get this lane up and running. Phoenix running this Doom plus Nyx lane is a bit more passive, so it's going to take some time to build up. Down mid, you do have Phoenix from Aries up against Yi on the Razor, so it's a Razor main.
It's so funny hearing you say Phoenix 20 times in the same sentence. Trying to explain different lanes.
Yeah, at least there's no Phoenix on Aries' side, and it's just confusing, because you'd have a Phoenix, a player, and a Phoenix played by Aries at some point, and it's still... Yi is holding out well, but so is Phoenix. Like, he's not really losing too much here. The beauty of Magnus versus Razor is that you can skewer away when you see that static link exposed. So the big winning point of Razor in terms of outwinning you, beating you out in right clicks is not really presence against the Magnus matchup, and Magnus can still sit back, just play with Shockwave if he really needs to, if the lane goes bad, and just kind of go from there. So this lane should be favoring Yi, but it's not like he's going to beat down the Magnus all too much. Phoenix showing us that he's keeping up.
Time you see the static link come out, he just skewers away. Water runes are there. Both of them going to go ahead and secure their own water runes. Pretty standard kind of stuff between these two. The bottom lane, Shang-Chi on the DK, Yuna there on the Hoodwink. You've got Shiro on the Medusa and Planet on the Disruptor. There is actually plenty of kill potential here for the side of Aster.Aries. This Medusa, really not going to be that tanky early on. Just 600 HP. So if they found a nice Dragon Tail into the excuse me, not the Brambles, but rather the Bushwhack, could kind of easily just kind of chip away at her HP pool and take her out eventually. So they won't really mind too much though. They just want to prioritize Shang-Chi's own levels. Shiro, he's farming just fine. No pressure here for the Medusa. Neither side really going to try and apply that pressure too early on.
Yeah, I think in this kind of slow lane, you're pretty happy for the Medusa. No kill threat until the supports show up. And you're just kind of holding back, farming up. That's all Medusa really wants. Medusa plus Disruptor as a lane isn't the most aggressive. You don't necessarily want to keep diving. And they're just kind of enabling that Medusa. So Shiro's having a smooth ramp up. I think you're also happy for Shang-Chi in this point, although up top.
Yeah, ZZQ gonna be in danger. Ulu, he'd love the last hit. Oh, nice salve out. ZZQ gonna deny the kill away from Siamese. That is gonna mean he's gonna have to run all the way back to the fountain to be able to get that reset, but he will not give the gold away to the Lion.
Yeah, that's worthwhile. I think with a Lion, you know, especially in Pos 5, every kill counts for you to get that blink up, and a nice dodge and that skewer back would have been a nice kill opportunity, but it's worthwhile just kind of wasting that 100 gold, walking back, TPing back in. You're gonna have that opportunity to sort of just reset and keep trying to play more. Like, we've seen that be an issue for Nyx. He hasn't had regen since the laning, so a reset's not too bad, all things considered.
Phoenix actually just trying to run down Yi here on the Razor. Something you don't really get to see too often, as he will just keep skewering away every time that static link comes out. You still get 38 damage, even though it was only a split second there for the Razor, but Phoenix still doing a great job of just not being pressured out of this lane. You'd have to argue the Magnus has much more impact in the game as the game goes later compared to a Razor. His bot lane, Planet again, gonna be taken out. This time Yuna picks up the kill. An Akon shot just proving to be a little bit too much damage. Yuna, he hasn't really spent much time at all in this lane at all. He's just been roaming around, stacking the triangle. He just comes in, claims a quick kill, and just backs off again.
Yeah, and that's just the beauty of Hoodwink. And you compare that to Disruptor, you just don't have much presence. What do you do with a Medusa? Like, you get your Thunderstrike off. You can't really set up for a Disrupt call. It's not great in aggression.
Goes down, top lane. Nice little rotation there from Yuna as now an Earth Spike is out. They've got ZZQ. They lock him down. Yeah, they certainly can. Ulu, he gets a double kill, and that's going to be a 2 for 6 now. 1k net worth lead by the 5.5 minute mark. And I'll tell you what, for now, Aster.Aries with this draft, they are picking up a hell of a lot of kills across the map.
Yeah, it just goes back to how stronger their side lanes are. Like, the chain stuns is a major factor. You saw the Dragon Tail plus Bushwhack. You're seeing Earth Spike plus the CK stun. And it just allows these supports to take a much more aggressive stance compared to Nyx Doom, which isn't really the most aggressive. Dusa Disruptor, very passive lane. It's just down to how these hero matchups work. Like, it's so much slower on the side of Phoenix here.
Maze. A lot of damage there from Dolme. Be able to get the kill in the end. Right now, it does feel like Phoenix Gaming, they just kind of want to get any kill they can get. So free kills like that, definitely appreciated here by our Doom. Well, bottom lane, Static Link is there. They've got the Razor. They'll get the DK. Shang-Chi dropping his Yuna now. Look at the damage output coming out from Yi. He's almost got the kill, but he doesn't quite get enough damage out. Meanwhile, in the meantime, mid lane being forced in. Siege Creep is there with Phoenix and a substantial amount of damage off, but eventually this Siege Creep is going to die as EZQ does pull the creep wave behind the tier 1 tower out of the attack range. I'll just let it go down.
Yeah, so far, Phoenix are starting to find some openings. Doom does fall though. Ulu does meant to jump in. It's one of those things. Like, it's a CK. Again, chain stuns come off. You get a couple of lucky crits. You're in a really good spot. And he does have decent minus armor as well. Like, picking up that casual Blightstone just to help burst down. You still have a lot of armor in Doom, but every single team counts for something physical like on the CK. And he's just got this really free lane. 44-17. Keeping up with the Dusa with her split shot. Not good news for Phoenix. You'd expect the Doom to be able to harass a little bit more, but the fact that your CK is actually keeping up in terms of overall CS with the Dusa is really going to put Phoenix back a bit. Ulu's going to hit this timing on Armlet. Once you have that up, maybe you go for the Yasha Manta and just go ham from there.
Why the hell not? He's going to TP down bot to help out with this tier 1 tower push. Rest of Phoenix hanging around that mid lane. You've got Yi there again with ZZQ. Bottom lane, scan was out. They found Planet on the Disruptor, but they can't get the vision. They know he's there somewhere. The scan is still going, in fact. They might want to go for a recheck, and Yuna, he's going to try, and now he does find him. Planet does get bushwhacked up. Earth Spike follow-up is there, and Ulu will happily once again look for a kill. It's like Yuna will be the one that has to take it on the hoodwink. But as long as somebody's dying, Aster.Aries again, more than happy with how things are going.
Yeah, they're just playing aggressive. They find a tier 1 tower. Phoenix cannot push as fast. Like, they just don't have natural tower hitters on hand, so they can't even look for that trade. The top lane was left alone. There was no real way for them to melt that tower themselves. And they're just kind of trying to build up on Shiro. Like, he's just clearing out the large camps where he can. They've got a forward ward by the outpost to really ensure the safety of that Dusa. So they are going all in on Shiro being big. They aren't quite getting that early farm they'd want, though. Like, you are getting more into CK. The Magnus is still up there. It's only now that the Doom overtakes, and with all those stacks built up by Aster.Aries, with Empower at a pretty high level now, it's not going to take too long for the Magnus or the CK to clear that out as well.
Yuna's completely surrounded at this top lane, and he's going to try and get his way out of this, but they have the glimpse back. And that took him 4 heroes. They'll go after the tier 1 top tower in the meantime, though. Nice little pick up there from Phoenix Gaming. Problem is, their mid tower is going to be exposed here for Phoenix to get to work, but it looks like he's going to leave it be. Try and secure that 10-minute power rune. Doesn't get lucky with the top one, but they still secured the bottom, and it is going to be a nice TD now for him. So you could really get to work onto that mid tier 1 if you are this Magnus. They will have time to react very soon as that top tier 1 is getting low, but Phoenix, he's going to get to work with Shang-Chi. You're forcing the TP rotations in, they have to fight. You can't really fight, because you know they've got the RP, they've got a billion stuns. They still got the Phantasm up. And with this Medusa, I just don't think you have enough to really be able to commit, although they are going to glimpse back Yuna. Static Storm drop, he's going to run towards the left. They get the Impale off. They might be able to fight here as Aster.Aries. They're coming back in now onto the Nyx Assassin. They've got ZZQ. That Static Storm, it was just off the mark.
Yeah, it's the disruptor. You know, it's like, it just doesn't feel great. You have to panic use it sometimes. It's like your one big saving spell if Glimpse is on cooldown. So you gotta choose your fights well. Aster.Aries managed to get the better engagement once more. I'm really keen on what Phoenix is building. He's actually rushing to Blink first over Echo Saber on that mag. So he's prioritizing being able to jump in and set up with the RPs. You don't normally see Magnuses go for that. Right? Almost always, even from mid, it's Echo Saber first to allow the farm. But Phoenix realizes they can't play slow like that. They can't play this farm-heavy game. They have to apply that pressure, and once that Blink is up, I'm looking for Aries to really kick the aggression up. They're already 5-9, but they need more. Their network advantage isn't quite there. They need to start looking for bigger fights. Oof.
That's a really nice bushwhack from Yuna. That was right on the edge. ZZQ, once again on this Nyx Assassin, just hasn't really had a game yet. We've seen a couple good impels from him, but it just seems like he's dying more than he's getting anything done. It's been a very unfortunate scenario for him as they just continue to pick him off. I mean, you talked about that Blink Dagger timing as well. It's up now. Phoenix has it. Expect to see a smoke very soon from the side of Aster.Aries. And this CK, with the armlet up, is probably more than willing to get involved with his team. Just keep joining these team fights. I don't think there's any reason for him to stay behind. You might maybe wait a bit more till he has the Sanj up, but again, I don't think he needs it. I think the armlet's going to provide so much damage. Phoenix Gaming, it's just a matter of whether they can fight back.
I think the only worry you have is how Doom is used, and if they can land that Stone Gaze Static Storm combo, which is just so difficult at this point. Aries, they're smoked up. This is going to be the Blink reveal for Phoenix. They just need a target. Unfortunately, their vision's all stuck down. But, so they are kind of blindly going to this triangle, but they can catch someone out. Could be a nice opening. ZZQ could break the smoke.
He does. There is a sentry nearby. He does have to be a little bit wary of that. But it won't matter, because the smoke was broken, and Aster.Aries, they aren't going to try and overextend here. They will back out again. They've got to be, again, cautious of that timing with this draft. There's Shockwave. You did have the Spike Carapace there from ZZQ. Earth Spike now out. Siamese. He was trying to get the deny off, but he actually ended up going for the courier instead. ZZQ, he'll take the ward for himself. You know, ward for a courier, not too bad of a trade for ZZQ.
Yeah, I think the courier ends up as more net worth for the team. 50 gold across 5 players, 250 gold versus 154 for the ob. So you kind of win the economy war, I guess. It's something.
As long as the rest of the team doesn't know that, John, doesn't matter. Gets a bit of gold for himself. Still a very quiet game, though, all things considered. Like, this Blink has been up for, you know, a solid 2 minutes now, but he is going back for the Echo Saber, so he rushes the Blink, but he doesn't try to make those aggressive plays. He is going to go back and farm that extra item, it seems like. Or is he? They're grouping up again.
Oh.
There we okay, now they'll go for the smoke. I was about to say, it didn't make too much sense to get the Blink first, but now they will go for the big smoke up. 3 heroes. ZZQ again going to be in position to break the smoke. They would prefer to find Yi on this Razor. I highly doubt they want to run into this Nyx Assassin again. But Yi's out of there. Yuna's going to scout out the Nyx, and this is their only option. They'll go after ZZQ. Ooh. Bushwhack is there. They'll get the kill. Planet. He's going to drop the Static Storm. It's not going to get much done, though. Siamese, he's fine as now Phoenix does get doomed up. They'll try to turn this team fight around. Even BKB to be popped here by Dome. Yulu is going to TP in. He might try to help out, and he will actually block the way as they will allow the mag to get out of there. Stone Gaze out. There's your Dragon Tail. It does connect onto the Doom. As now the turnaround. They have Phoenix coming in now. As the Doom has worn off. They kill off Dome. That'll be it. They don't get to use the RP. But then again, Doom committed Phoenix Gaming. They get nothing out of it. There was also that Static Storm that just amounted to nothing.
Yeah, and you're happy about that. Aster.Aries managed to force out those big spells. Stone Gaze being off as well means that the Deuce is a prime target while it's down, but cooldown's not the longest, so Shiro should still be safe.
Planet.
You really want to use RP, although?
Bushwhack, not going to connect, but they have the vision. Phoenix, oh, he could RP if he really wants to, but they know he's in there somewhere. Yeah, he'll take care of it. No problem.
I mean, it's starting to feel like Phoenix probably didn't need to go for that blink. Could have just gone for the Echo Saver. I mean, they're not even popping RP, right? Like, because at this point in the game, Phoenix is not clumping up, so Phoenix doesn't have the opportunity to RP.
ZZQ.
So
Vendetta's there. He's looking for a kill opportunity, and it looks like they might have to settle for Yuna. Vendetta does wear off, though, so Impel does land, but are you going to have enough follow-up? TP away.
Oh.
He's going to be fine. In fact, now the rest of them are coming in. Phoenix does jump in with the skewer back. They'll find a kill. And Planet, he dropped the Static Storm again.
Yeah.
And that time around, the Static Storm was actually good, John. But there was no backup to it.
Well, what will you do? You lost your support. You're cut off. You're really far. I mean, that's the thing. Disruptor has to play so far back to really be effective, but you're a support. You're kind of running around, scouting out, blocking out rotation spots. Sometimes you die. And if you die, what do? You try to drop Static Storm, hoping for an opportunity to follow up. Never happens. It's just the nature of the hero. It's just so clunky to use right now with how everyone kind of spaces out. And Aries are just abusing that. They still build up farm. CK is still #1 in net worth. Shiro has not gotten the space he needs to really be big. Trying to rush out that butterfly for protection, especially from the Phantasm Illusions. So that physical evasion is going to be a big factor for Dedusa. But Aries, every single time, they just keep smoking.
Yeah, but it's AZQ. He's there to break the smoke in that exact same position. Where's the dust? Where's the sentries? The sentry's down now, but it's just way too late. Glimpse back. Who have they got? It's going to be the CK. That's a big, big target. Hulu, he needs a way out, and there's an RP there. Catches so many of them. But where is your follow-up? They had 3 heroes. Skewer back. No Doom being thrown out. TCQ. He's going to drop again, but at least they do get Phoenix. They found the Magnus. A 1-for-1 trade. Definitely favorable to the side of Phoenix Gaming. Once again, that's going to be about it.
You know, maybe Aster.Aries shouldn't be using the RP. They finally get a team fight where they do. It doesn't pan out. So just play the pickoff game. Like that was just really unfortunate. Stone Gaze was going off, immediately frozen down. They didn't even manage to bait the Doom out. Like, it was coming out, but the skewer came through first. I think if he actually just didn't skewer, stayed still, copped the Doom, died with no trade, but you take out Stone Gaze plus Doom, Aster.Aries could find more, fight to take afterwards that would have been beneficial. They do manage to save the CK. I think that's kind of makes it worthwhile for Aster.Aries. But Phoenix, it's their turn to smoke up. Now, they hold the Doom, so they've got the option to burst someone down, and even that Static Storm is still up here.
Run right into him. Oh, they actually missed the stomp, though. Ooh. He's going to be able to walk away, but there's your glimpse out. Back into the kinetic field. They'll eventually get him. And it seems like Phoenix Gaming now feel more than confident to start moving up towards that tier 1 mid tower. They will be able to slowly chip away and get it down. You look at Shiro, John. He's going for that butterfly pickup now. I don't see much in the way of being able to deal with a Medusa with butterfly.
Yeah, it's, again, all their damage is physical. CK, illusion-based hero, doesn't really want to get the KB out. So you're not going to have a lot of options of melting through unless you just land your finger and
skill back.
Shot combo, although.
Yeah, they got ZZQ. Seems like it's the common denominator here. Always the Nyx Assassin. Poor old ZZQ. Goes down again. And we have another smoke, John. They've got the RP up.
Yeah, they're going to look again. Triangle area once more, but there's no Nyx to break the smoke. So that's good news here. Aster.Aries just needs to find the angle.
Planet might be there to break the smoke. Siamese going to have his smoke broken. They're still rushing towards the Doom and Medusa. They found both of them. They'll make the jump in onto that Medusa. All the mana pool already gone. They'll burst him down. Shiro is dead. They're still trying to fight this one out. Phoenix Gaming, can they do it? They'll throw the Doom onto the mag. They'll take Phoenix down, but now Ulu, he can get right to work. They've killed off Dolme. Onto Yi. He's just trapped up. He'll try to make a run with the Razor. Finger those Siamese. Not able to get it off. Dragon Tail, 1 second off cooldown. It's not going to be enough time, and now the turnaround back onto the DK, but the Bushwhack is there to hold down ZZQ, and with the Reality Rift, they'll drag him in and get the damage out. There's some quick pickings there for Aster.Aries. Very nice stuff.
Yeah, that's just really tight. Like, blowing up the Dusa first fixes all their issues. They didn't have to worry about Stone Gaze. The Magnus got doomed after the fact, so it's not as big a deal. He already got the RP off. And it comes back to the Razor. Like, we were talking about Razor against 3 melee chorus. Well, he's only static linking 1 mic. Everyone else can do damage. So I think they're having some issues in maximizing how the Razor is used here. And even their Static Storm, their Stone Gaze combo hasn't been as clean. Aster.Aries is hitting a spike. 4K lead, 8-19, 22 minutes in. They're still ahead of the Dusa in farm. Like, the CK is still constantly out farming Shiro. That's not good news for Dusa. Like, you're supposed to be this big flash farmer who clears out stacks like it's no one's business, but you still don't have that big item advantage. Even if you get the butterfly up, your CK is still ahead of you in net worth. And that's just not where you want to be as this hero. So, I think for Phoenix, it just all lies in getting a big team fight as 5, getting the Stone Gaze plus Static Storm combination, and the opportunities to get those big clump ups are just so rare. Whereas for Aster.Aries, even if they don't see the opportunity to RP, well, we can sharpshooter, we can finger, we can just kill one hero at a time, rinse and repeat with multiple smokes, in and out, and that's it. And it's more forgiving for Aster.Aries because they only commit on 1 every time. Like, they don't have to throw the RP out. They don't rely on getting that perfect team fight. Phoenix, though, they're going to start hunting for that perfect team fight. Smoke up.
Where do they head, though? They'll try in the Dire Triangle, see if they can find somebody around that area. He's going to be around. Scan out as well. Going to catch ZZQ on that Nyx Assassin. So immediately the retreat has begun here for Aster.Aries, and Phoenix Gaming still yet to find a target. BKB now up on Phoenix as well, so he's got the RP, he's got the BKB, and he's going to TP right to his team. This could be a very dangerous predicament for Phoenix Gaming, as Aster.Aries, they are well and truly aware of the location of Phoenix Gaming. They have a counter smoke. They haven't got one on them. They're kind of relying on the initiation to be started from Aster.Aries, and there's another smoke out from Phoenix. They're moving in. Into the DK, they want to try and go after that Magnus, but no, they caught out the Doom first. The reactions are way too fast. Shiro is going to try and pop the Stone Gaze, but they're just going to wait this one out. In fact, Yi is still static linking away, but they're waiting for that big RP moment, and it might be coming very soon as Phoenix. They're gripping up. A big Bushwhack is there. BKB popped, and they've got the RP now. Onto 2. ZZQ, the first one targeted down. Shiro, he has no mana pool left. He's still trying to fight as the buyback, and Doom was thrown out onto the CK. They'll try to chase him down. In fact, they'll even go after the Magnus, but he's skewered out. Still back after that CK. They will finally get Ulu. And with the buyback committed by Dolme, they were able to win out the team fight. Shiro, he was so low on mana at the time, it felt like they had got him for sure, but the Doom coming out in the end does save the day.
Yeah, it's just pretty clutch coming back in to get that spell use, and this is a big win for Phoenix. Opens up the Roche, can go right in. They know RP's down for a lot longer, and opens up a big opportunity. Aster.Aries can't really fight in the Roche pit right now. Shiro's gonna be able to melt this slowly but surely. Maybe you look for a blink play with a Magnus, with Bushwhack as well. We have seen that be a factor when the Hoodwink's there. So Aster.Aries probably not gonna give it for free, and that does mean Phoenix has to be a bit cautious going up here.
Yuna, stomp out, Doom. No Doom available, but it won't matter. Yuna still dropping very low and does end up dropping as now they'll chase down Shang-Chi, but it's going to be alright as Skewer, Phoenix, he's going to be off the mark. Back into the Roshan pit they go. Yuna, he did buy back, so it looks like Phoenix Gaming, they're going to back out of this. Still, Dragon Tail is there. They found DDQ and they'll drag him back. They'll be able to get the kill as Dolme. And try and stun up the DK, but the BKB was there in time. Aster.Aries getting started on the Roshan themselves. Planet, he's been caught out by the Bushwhack. And, well, they drag him back. In fact, they even found the Medusa. They'll buy him back on the Disruptor Planet. He's going to try and rejoin the fight. Shiro is still in trouble with these Phantasm Illusions, but they'll turn around onto Yi instead. They won't have the damage output to take any of them out, though. Back into the Roshan pit.
And those sets of fights have stalled the game long enough that Magnus has RP back up. So you're getting Roshan, you get Aegis.
Static Storm. It's not going to be anywhere. I'm not even sure what the point of that was. Nobody is around. Literally nobody was there.
Yeah. Maybe if you had a Force Staff, you could Static Storm Force Staff in.
Yeah, but he doesn't, John. He doesn't have a Force Staff. That's the problem.
Maybe he's pretending he has one. He's being optimistic here, Mike. You know, he's an optimist. The Static Storm scares them out. Goes in.
Dust is there. They found the Nyx. The Impale is not going to land, and now they'll go after the Nyx Assassin. Nice, easy pick off there for Aster.Aries. You still have this constant issue of Shiro farming on this Medusa, and eventually he's going to have this Aghanim Scepter up. And with the Butterfly even, it's just been very hard to burst through the Medusa's HP and mana pool. Looks like eventually you are going to have an MKB being built up on Ulu anyway, so it's about that point where the Medusa may be a little bit more afraid for her life.
Yeah, it's going to be a big spike for Ulu once that's up. You have to remember that illusions apparently do get the proc, just not the damage bonus, but they will be able to hit through the evasion as well, so it's a massive DPS boost if it does come out. Bit of a call, all of Aster.Aries disconnecting, so apparently not all the internet issues are fixed, but Aster.Aries has been playing really well despite that. 11-25, 3k lead. CK still number one, above Dusa, above Doom. Again, it's the same situation as the previous series we've seen. When you've got, I think that it was a Doom TB, and the TB was ahead, just out farming them anyway, up against those kinds of heavy farming cores. You know something's wrong. Like, the Doom should be ahead because of Devour, and because of how well he can just run around the camps, kind of go bursting heroes down. The Dusa should be ahead over CK. And it's just not happening. Like, Aster.Aries are able to constantly force out fights, maximize the empower, and just constantly disrupt what Phoenix wants to do. Like, the game is slowing down. We're at 28 minutes in, but they haven't gotten enough on Phoenix's end to feel like that they're going into their own power spec. Like, they need to close this network gap a little bit more, hit that Ags and Ag Shard on Medusa, and go from there. For now, Aster.Aries lining up for the bot here, through forcing out the Fortify. Phoenix not in a position to defend, so once that Fortify fades, tower is still likely to fall with those Phantasm Illusions up.
Absolutely. Nice and easy here. Aster.Aries. Phoenix Gaming, meanwhile, grouping up once again. Phoenix Gaming kind of looking prepared to go for a fight, but it still looks very tough. Perhaps without the Phantasm Illusions is kind of where they're going with this, but it seems like Aster.Aries are more than happy to start the fight. Shiro, oh, he's going to be found out. Dragon Tail going to be on an Ancient Creep, though. At the very least, I guess you forced the Stone Gaze to be popped. So you got something. It just wasn't what they quite wanted.
I think that's fine. Like, with Stone Gaze gone, the next fight for Aster.Aries is even easier to pull off. So you're kind of happy with that trade, instead of having to deal with Stone Gaze right there, maybe waiting for a response from Phoenix. Tier 2 mid under pressure. The Ags is up on Dusa, so maybe not all is well. That is when it starts to get very annoying fighting against the use of the stone form. Probably going to have to time those BKB uses well from Aster.Aries.
Phoenix. Still just hanging in that tree line, ZZQ. Oh, there's a nice skewer back. Phoenix into the bushwhack and the stunts out. They even silence the Medusa. They want to try and burst her down. Shiro, he's trying to survive, but there's the RP now. Phoenix, he got a 3-man RP, but Static Storm has been dropped. They still haven't got the Medusa. Doom has been committed. Ulu, he's still trying to man-fight this one out. Onto ZZQ now. They'll just keep going forward. They will find the next assassin. Aegis is still up. Ulu, he will finally lose it. But a bushwhack gonna hold down Yi. They'll get the Razor. That's a 3-for-0 trade. And they are onto the high ground. Aster.Aries just looking fantastic. And I guess it was a 3-for-1 trade if you count the buyback from the Lion. Not that it matters right now anyway. Shiro, he does not have buyback. And that means they can go for a secondary Rax. It's going to be a glimpse back to buy a bit more time, but I suppose that was about half a second. 2 Raxes down now is what Phoenix Gaming are going to be if they can't stop this from going down. It looks like they really can't, as now Siamese, he's in. Nice bushwhack there. Aeon Disc procced, but ZZQ is still not looking too healthy. Still trying to run a big 3-man stun out. Dolme, he found a big one, but is it going to be enough? ZZQ's gone. BKB's popped. All the TP's away. Yi can't do anything about it. Static Storms, they're just trying to kill Yuna. They will find him. But that is so rough. They just pop their BKBs and TP in front of you, and you can do nothing to stop them.
Yeah, it's always frustrating to see that. It's kind of hilarious just seeing 2 cores pop BKB. 2 of them, side by side, going home.
Absolutely.
Not a great feeling for Phoenix. It's almost the same situation again, Mike, right? Like, we've seen this. I don't know why I'm seeing this pattern. Like, mid racks gone, bot racks mainly gone, top tier 1 still standing. Maybe the key is have the enemy team take your top tier 1 to break this pattern off. Then you find that opening. But Phoenix, they're lagging behind by 8k. It's starting to be substantial here. Aster.Aries, their execution's just lining up. You're still seeing issues with instantly bursting down the Dusa. I think that can be a big factor. Like, if the response from Phoenix is fast enough, if they manage to jump in, get Static Storm, Kinetic Field, while the Dusa is being jumped, and she manages to pop her Stone Gaze. And that's the turnaround play. So Aster.Aries still needs some discipline on hand, especially with the Ags up in Dusa. So far, like, all these theory crafting hasn't lined up for Pinnock.
Yeah, he's been caught out on this Razor. They even popped the smoke.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's been a rough time for Phoenix Gaming. Don't mind you, this has all been without an MKB on Ulu, by the way. You know, he's going to have that up very soon. And suddenly this butterfly is not going to matter on Shiro anymore.
Top tower
and that concerns me a lot for Phoenix Gaming.
Top tower has fallen.
It should be. Like, if he can't survive the onslaught, then he's not going to be able to spam the Mystic Snakes. The Ags build up the shard. It's not going to feel amazing. So you need to find some way of defending her. And right now, I think the best thing that Phoenix can do is stick to high ground. Right, that's where Aster.Aries will have to clump up no matter what. You can look for your Kinetic Field, Static Storm along the Stone Gaze combo. Try to get some kills that way. They will have to surrender the last outer tower. Tier 2 not going to hold for long. AC up and running as well on Phoenix on the Magnus. So he's going to be able to get a lot more armor up. The Dusa hit's not going to hurt as much. Amps up the damage from your CK with a minus armor aura. So it's a huge boon overall for Aster.Aries as the lead's up 11k now. And Aster.Aries, they could kind of take it easy here. Just control the triangle, wait for the next Roshan. We are still going to find out how long that next respawn is. Even stall out long enough that Yuna has the Ags up on that Hoodwink. So you've got the Boomerang coming through and just more damage flying out. It's just always nice to have. Especially for the Lion. Like, that finger damage with how many stacks Siamese has is going to be pretty darn strong on those squishier supports.
Yeah. Not going to be a fun time at all for Phoenix Gaming. They're so heavily reliant on on Shiro just being able to stand there and throw these arrows out. It just hasn't been that easy. And now with this smoke out, ZZQ is going to break the smoke, but again, they hex him up. They want to find another target, but they'll have to settle. ZZQ, at the very least, does save the rest of his team, but he is down without buyback for 40 seconds if Aster.Aries want to try and make something happen.
Yeah, it's a bit of an opening. They could look for the high ground now on the top set of racks if they want to. Probably not going to look to overcommit for just bot ranged. They're going to want to swing around top. Next Roshan, still going to be spawning up. Not the quickest respawn, but also not the longest. They could also just wait for that, then just kind of let the Nyx respawn. I don't think it's that big of an issue. You're not quite fully equipped on that Nyx anyway. Ags is not quite up and running. So the full potential for the high ground defense isn't quite there. And Aster.Aries can just play around here. Always kind of funny to see when a lion fingers himself to a Nyx. I had to point that out. Pretty good use of the spike carapace to stall, but not enough. And I think Siamese still managed to get the stack off on the finger, because they bursted him down that quick afterwards anyway.
They did. Actually, you are correct. He did get the extra stack.
Beautiful.
Indeed. Smoke up again. Phoenix Gaming gonna try and get themselves an upper hand in this next team fight. Roshan still not up either, but 45 seconds away, so if they get a nice team fight now, it'd definitely be very nice timing for that Roshan. However, they are fighting to the Ags DK now. So you've got the big black dragon available. There it is. Very scary sight here is ZZQ. Carapace already committed. They jump in, stun out. Doom is committed as well as the Static Storm, everything. But there's your Magnus, there's your RP. Stonegaze though, it was already popped. Can they take anyone out? They've lost Ulu on the CK already. Aster.Aries, they might need to find a way out of this team fight, but no, Ulu, he's going to buy back. He'll rejoin the team fight as ZZQ. He will do the exact same thing. They go to the backside, try to get Siamese in this line. Yi now going to be targeted down by Ulu. He'll try for the TP out. Instead, they'll go after Shiro. Screw the Razor when you can kill the Medusa, and that's exactly what they want to do. Bushwhack is there. They lock him down. They've got him. No mana left. Shiro, he's going to die. No buyback gold available. This could be it. How do you defend without this Medusa? Aster.Aries, they don't realize it, John. They're going for the Roshan.
I guess it's still a fairly quick Rosh to take. You don't have your Magnus around, so this could also stall out for the respawn before fully committing for up top. That is Rosh number 2 or number 3 are we on? Kind of lost that. Feels like number 2. That should be Ag Shard Cheese. Yes, it is. And gonna be substantial. I don't know who you really want the shard on. This game, probably your Lion. Honestly, I think it should just be Lions. Free spell immunity, stand there, keep draining the Medusa's mana. Would be really nice. Safety net for Ulu because he bought back. Probably the safer play, actually, just going for this Rosh, just to ensure that your CK is not going to get caught with his pants down. As he does, he actually picks up the shard as well. I forget what the CK shard is.
It's the Chaos Bolt. Right. Yeah, it makes an illusion. Not too bad, actually. Like, it's kind of nice. Just get an extra illusion for 6 seconds. Quite spammable as well. 10-second cooldown. I've noticed that with the Chinese region especially, is they do tend to just throw the shard in the position 1 every time. Like, we saw it, I believe it was last game with the Morphling. We saw the exact same thing, or it might have been the series prior. They just automatically, it goes in the pos 1. It doesn't matter what the shard does. It's going on the pos 1.
I don't like that. Like, it just, as a support player, you know, sometimes you feel like your shard's important. You know, you want to feel important.
The problem is the supports aren't important enough, John. That's the thing. It's not that the shard's not important. It's just you're not important.
That's true. Not important in-game, not important outside. You don't have to rub it in, Mike, still. Aster.Aries, 14k lead. Looking for the high ground. 1 set of racks left. And Phoenix, their backs are against the wall. They have to get this perfect defense on high ground. This is where Dedusa shines. This is where Disruptor shines. Get that Static Storm, Kinetic Field, Stone Gaze off. And they have tried. But it's just kind of staggered. They need all those spells used at once. Issue is the patience coming out from Phoenix. On Ares' side, right? The Magnus. He's just always standing so far back behind that the Static Storm doesn't catch him. He gets the RP because everyone's clumped inside because they're kind of clumping around to do some Stone Gaze. and they get punished for it. So it's a balancing game here for Phoenix to figure out the proper spacing, and Aster.Aries are not making that easy to figure out.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
That tier 3 top tower. How do you defend against it? I mean, the Black Dragon, he just sits there from a mile away, chipping away. Dome, he's going to jump in with the Doom out onto that DK. They're trying to start the fight that way. Siamese has been caught out on the Lion. It's a nice way to start. He's going to buy back. They're going to try and commit for this team fight, but they've already lost Shang-Chi. He does have buyback, but he doesn't have the Dragon form for another 75 seconds. Obviously, you're not going to buy back on the DK, but you committed the buyback on your Lion, so now do you want to go back in somehow?
They could look for a pick-off. There is still a Doom waiting on development because he has that refresh. So it's not a very clear-cut fight. Could be a bit risky. Looks like they will just hold back, keep farming up, which does feel like a wasted buyback for Siamese. But I guess they're just going to wait for a respawn in DK at this point. Play it safe. Only one set of racks away. Only a little bit more of a push left for Aries to secure that further journey, to journey forward on the road to Romania. The Shadow Blade's picked up as well by the Magnus, so more options for the initiation. BKB on the Deuce is nice. If the RP lands, that's not going to stop it, though. So Phoenix, all the pressure's on him.
Well, they scattered him out. Yuna, he's going to go to rush forward. Schwack going to be off the mark. He's going to try and turn with this Vendetta. They still have 15 seconds without the DK respawn. So definitely still a very nice time here for Phoenix Gaming to try and go for a fight. But nothing's going to come of it. They don't find anyone. They're actually under vision right now, but ZZQ will go ahead and deal with that immediately. Now you've got the DK back up. He's got the Dragon form back up, and you see the immediate smoke up here from Aster.Aries. Back into that triangle. Zulu just blinks right in. Shiro has been spotted, target acquired, but they can't get in range. He even tried to use the flicker to get forward, but there's a big RP. Oh, no. They will catch two of them. Bushwhack out as well. Holds them both down, but where's your follow-up? ZZQ, the Aeon Disc, gonna save the day as Phoenix. He has already dropped. That's Magnus down without buyback. Glimpse back on Yuna. Should be a secondary kill here for Phoenix Gaming. They will continue to hold out as Aster.Aries. I mean, they're finding these nice opportunities, but they're just a bit too quick with them. Like that RP, maybe a second later would have been enough to allow his team to catch up, but it's a bit too preemptive, and now you're kind of just left backing off again.
Yeah, just unfortunate for Aster.Aries. Really good turnaround from Phoenix. Seeing those openings, they were kind of right by the ramp area to back up that Dusa, and it does pay off. They managed to get the good use of the Static Storm, break off that combo from Aster.Aries, and Aries, it feels like a communication issue. They're getting it a bit too hasty in this game. They lose a lot of that lead down to just 5k. Dusa's inching towards the CK, and as this game goes late, the Dusa is a bigger core. Like, CK can't offer the same thing with the items you have. You just can't constantly split shot like the Dusa does. So you're reaching the point where Shiro is just going to be this overwhelming core that's nearly impossible to deal with. The refresh is coming out as well on our Razor, and once Yi has that up, double static link to control two of those melee cores, not nice. And back-to-back use of the Eye of the Storm, or just two instances of it running, is pretty painful as well. So you have to watch that. There's still a lot of power left in Phoenix, and Aster.Aries, they were kind of throwing their heads against a wall, and, well, the skulls cracked just a bit. Have to be careful to concuss themselves if they do that too much.
Certainly so. Phoenix. We're just sitting back. This Medusa, Daedalus coming up very soon. Things are getting very scary now for Aster.Aries, I feel like. The net worth lead has been dropping quite significantly from 15k down to 5k. definitely thrown a pretty massive lead away now. This is for their qualifiers. I mean, this is their run to TI10. You've got to be a bit more cautious.
Dire's middle tower is
They're gonna
under
smoke
attack.
up. They are grouped. Looks like there's no smokes available, so they're gonna just try and run their way in. So now they are quite a bit more hesitant to actually make their way forward to try and find a pick-off. You're even going to get to that point as well where ZZQ's going to have the Ags up on the Nyx, and that's going to make it impossible to go high ground.
Oh, yeah. It's just so hard against the Nyx. Like, you've got to be able to find maybe a good skewer back if you're quick on Phoenix. You could drag him back, prevent all of that durability, all of that nuisances that the Nyx brings on hand. That's something, but it's going to be tougher. And I think Aries are under some pressure to play fast. I mean, we said it. Their lineup is a bit of a quicker lineup. And as the game goes late, the focus shifts away from the CK and into the Magnus. And right now, our Magnus is just not as farmed as our CK. So they might have to shift the farm priority onto Phoenix, have him build up his own Daedalus down the line, have the focus be maybe on a double RP coming through, play around that, but doesn't quite feel like they're ready to hand off the farm priority. So all their gold's going onto that one big
into each
CK
other.
that's
ZZQ, skewer away, bring him right back on that Nyx Assassin. They got the Doom off though, onto the CK. That's the target they wanted, and they will take down Ulu. He has buyback, but will he commit it? He might need to, because Siamese now. He'll get chased down by Yi. Out even more, the DK also getting caught. There's your Static Storm, there's your Doom. Now they'll buy back on Ulu, but is it too late? Well, he's on the high ground. He still has free pathing, and now the RP's there. They found 3 targets. Can they burst them down? Stone Gaze is out. They've already got Yi down on the Razor. Bushwhack is there, catching out 2 of them again. Ulu, he'll keep getting to work. Shiro, he's going to try and fight back all by himself. Dome is just trying to run, but he's gone now. Shiro is still trying, but he just can't do it by himself. He needed some help. He will commit the buyback though.
It's a big back and forth. Definitely a big win for Aries right there. They find big kills. They force 3 buybacks in the end. Feels really good. And I have to be the big fight next to Roche. That's where both of these teams will really throw their bodies forward. And that's where it gets a bit tricky for both sides. The Daedalus is up from Redusa, so the damage output's up. And again, Aster.Aries just can't burst her down fast enough. So the sustained damage in a prolonged fight is pretty ridiculous. You have to be a bit cautious going in there and kind of handling that Dusa.
ZZQ, that's a dangerous play, Mr. ZZQ. He's caught out. That's a dieback. Onto Yi now, he pops his BKB, he has a refresher orb up, he's got the double ult, he's going. It's a hell of a lot of damage. They'll find Ulu with the dieback. They've lost the CK. Alright. I mean, I guess that's worth ZZQ's life. It's still a 3v4 scenario here, but I don't think they can take down the Medusa without Ulu up on the CK.
They don't have enough damage on the Magnus and on the DK. Just not enough. Gold flew out to them. And this is a scary spot for Aster.Aries. If they were just patient, they could have gone for Roche instead. But they miss out. They have to wait a minute and a half. That's going to be enough time for Phoenix to fully respawn.
Hex is there. They found the Disruptor. Finger out as well, and there's your Sharpshooter. At the very least, Courier flies in from ZZQ and gets the gem. That was a very quick reaction from ZZQ as well. He seemed to know that was about to happen. So he just swoop in to get the gem up, and well, like you said, John, Roshan is there, but without Ulu, they can't really get it started, and there's going to be a buyback from Planet. They seem to have assumed maybe they did start the Roshan, but that was not the case.
Yeah, that's fairly preemptive. You could have used it elsewhere in a different time, but looks like Phoenix might be able to try and sneak it with Shiro. The damage is there. You can kind of solo. It's not the quickest, so you might still want to play it a bit safe as Aster.Aries.
I think they're going to have enough to defend this. That's the thing. Like, you can slow it down enough. Or can you? I mean, Shiro's still just kind of man-fighting Roshan, and no one's jumped in, as I believe I may have disconnected here. Uh-oh. Yeah, looks like it's a disconnection, alright. Well, that's pretty darn bad news. We'll see if we can reconnect. Otherwise, we should have a backup feed. Hopefully. I mean, I do have a backup feed, don't you worry. But we'll just see if this in-game works.
Right before Roche's... Whoa!
Oh, and I hear a triple go. Okay, the team fight did start. Who got the Roshan?
Still up?
It's still up. Alright, the Roshan's still there. It looks like we just had a triple kill happen. And then back into the Roshan pit.
It's a scary point. No buybacks left. You're gonna have to find an approach here.
Impel there. Roshan gonna drop and does end up going down. And now Phoenix Gaming could rush for more as Yuna is pretty darn low. Needs to back off. Ulu, he's gonna start the fight. Big RP out again. He's caught 3 of them. Aeon just gonna proc Shiro. Already so darn low in mana. But with the BKB, he's gonna be able to just walk away as Phoenix now. Being chased down by Yi. That double ulti out is just so much damage. Yuna, he just gets electrified here by Yi. But he is end up dying to Yulu now. They do get him in the end. Meanwhile, towards the left side, they found Davion. There's 3 heroes down with that buyback, but the Radiant Pace.
Oh my god.
The creeps. Getting rid of these tier 4 towers. They will force back the side of Phoenix Gaming. And I don't think Phoenix can quite go high ground yet, John. But they are successfully defending. And it does seem like they're on their way to a comeback.
It's the Dusa effect. We're getting towards late game. DK is just not as effective. The refresh on the Razor is just so strong. With double static link, double Eye of the Storm just completely zipping through people. And there's the Divine on Shiro. So if he didn't have enough damage last time, he's definitely going to have enough now. But if he dies, if they somehow go through 2 lives of Shiro, or stall out until the Aegis expires, not going to feel great. But hey, I don't know if you'll reach that point with the double damage hanging around for Shiro as well. Ooh. So that's what, 700 damage per hit. Isn't that nice?
Yeah, very good. In we go.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Actually, it's about, what is that, 800? No, 900 damage right now. Oh, there you go. It's gone back down again. See how you can delay this for Aster.Aries? I mean, you had a guaranteed game, and just a couple of mistakes. And suddenly this game is going back the way of Phoenix Gaming. In fact, Dolmere, he's jumped in. Stun is out. Glimmer Cape gonna save the day for Yuna. They won't have the lockdown. But they are still going after those tier 3s. And now Shiro is going onto those tier 4 towers. He's daring them to come at him. How are you gonna beat me? With this Divine Rapier and Daedalus, he says. As the tier 4 now under siege, Shiro, he is quite low in terms of mana, but he won't mind. He'll pop his BKB, but there you go. There's the Reality Rift in. They're going to try. Static Storm drop, though. That's an Aghanim Scepter Static Storm. Doom there as well. RP committed, but Phoenix, where's your backup? He'll steal them back into the fountain. Shiro, he's there. Can you do it again? Can they drag him back into the fountain? The Ancient is exposed. They're still going to go after it. They are just focusing it down. Ulu, he's going to focus on Shiro, but the Ancient is still dropping. They will just focus all the way, and they will get the comeback. They will make it work. Phoenix Gaming, they are going to force us to a game number 3. And if you're Aster.Aries, John, that's going to hurt. Because that was a guaranteed game.
They should not have lost. Like, it definitely guaranteed it. Oh man, that was tough to watch. Like they had such a big lead, and then they just have one bad fight. We've seen it so many times, man, throughout these qualifiers. One bad fight, and then your game's gone, and suddenly that advantage you had is over. And now game 3 coming through, Phoenix, they had that massive win condition. They stalled the game out. Dusa effect, and the Razor build was lovely as well. Refresh up. Static Storm coming through, zapping everyone down is super big. I don't know. Aster.Aries, they've got to shake themselves off mentally after a loss like that, because they were supposed to win. 100%. They had 2 racks up, and then they just take a bad fight. That is That just looks like a pub game where I just leave party without saying it. You know?
What do you do? I mean, it happens. It happens. You know, but we do go on to game number 3 now, at the very least for our sake. We do have a third game. Phoenix Gaming, they're not out of it yet. Aster.Aries, you know, honestly, they've been looking like the better team throughout this series. But they've got to get these mistakes in order. They can't allow them to happen. And we'll see which team does take game number 3, as we are going to head to a very short break. But right after that break, we'll be back with game number 3's draft. We'll see you.